The Harry Potter films may have looked like pure magic on screen, but behind the scenes, life for the young cast was far more rigid than most fans ever imagined. While the actors were growing up in front of millions, they weren't free to live like normal teenagers. Instead, they had to abide by strict rules laid out by Warner Brothers and the production team, rules designed to protect the franchise, keep continuity, and ensure that the fantasy world of Hogwarts remained flawless. These rules ranged from the understandable to the downright shocking. And once you learn what the cast had to follow, you'll never see the films the same way again. First, the cast was forbidden from changing their appearance without permission. No drastic haircuts, no experimental colors, and no visible piercings or tattoos. The continuity of the characters was sacred. And producers couldn't risk Harry suddenly showing up with a new hairstyle or Hermione with a piercing that broke the illusion. Every strand of hair and every wardrobe choice had to match the carefully crafted world J.K. Rowling imagined. Second, school was mandatory even at Hogwarts, because most of the cast were underage when the series began. Strict child labor laws in the UK required them to complete their education on set. That meant hours of private tutoring each day in between filming scenes. For Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, balancing essays with spells was exhausting. But it was the only way to keep the production legal and their futures secure. Third, the cast wasn't allowed to perform dangerous stunts. While the movies are filled with thrilling, action-flying broomsticks, battling trolls, and running from Death Eater's insurance policies and safety concerns meant doubles handled the riskiest moves. Radcliffe did push back and perform some stunts himself, but a serious accident on Deathly Hallows Part 1 left his stunt double, David Holmes, paralyzed. A sobering reminder of why these rules existed. Fourth, secrecy was everything. Scripts were treated like state secrets, locked away and stamped with watermarks to prevent leaks. Cast members were sworn to silence about upcoming plot twists, and even their families weren't allowed to know details. This cloak of secrecy was so strict that when pages of a script leaked online, Warner Bros. Launched investigations to track down the culprits. Fifth, no improvisation was allowed. Unlike other productions where actors can tweak lines, the Harry Potter cast had to stick word for word to the script. Every line had to preserve J.K. Rowling's vision and keep continuity intact across the sprawling series. For young actors bursting with energy, this rule was tough but non-negotiable. Sixth, dating between cast members was strongly discouraged. While friendships blossomed, the studio worried that breakups could create tension on set and jeopardize the chemistry audiences loved. The cast had to keep their personal lives as separate from the films as possible. Seventh, the main trio in particular had to be available at all times. Producers scheduled around their schoolwork. But there were strict clauses ensuring they couldn't take on other projects that might interfere with filming. For nearly a decade, Radcliffe, Watson, and Grint were locked into a magical but demanding world, leaving them little time to pursue anything else. Eighth, social media was practically forbidden, especially in the later films as online leaks became a bigger threat. Unlike today's stars, the young actors couldn't casually post behind-the-scenes pictures or updates. Every detail of filming was carefully controlled to maintain the franchise's aura of mystery. Ninth, costumes and props were strictly off-limits outside the set. As much as fans might imagine the cast sneaking home a wand or robe, Warner Brothers guarded these treasures fiercely. Everything belonged to the studio. Then anyone caught trying to keep a souvenir faced consequences. Finally, professionalism was non-negotiable. Despite their ages, the cast had to behave like seasoned actors, showing up on time, respecting the crew, and working long hours. For kids barely out of childhood, this discipline was grueling but necessary to bring Hogwarts to life. The truth is, the world of Harry Potter may have felt like freedom and wonder on screen, but off-screen it was a place of rules, restrictions, and constant pressure. These strict guidelines ensured the films became a cinematic phenomenon, but they also shaped the childhoods of the actors in ways few of us could imagine. Looking back, It's clear that the magic of Harry Potter wasn't just about spells and wands, it was also about discipline, sacrifice, and the unbreakable commitment of the cast who grew up under the watchful eye of Hogwarts.